Okay, the next rough out we're going to do is also a Mike Shipley rough out. Now you ask yourself, why are we doing this and defining rough outs? We're doing this because a lot of people, what they do is they receive rough outs, and a lot of people work from rough outs, and a lot of people feel that, well, because I work from rough outs, I only have a limited amount of characters that I can do. And that's one of the reasons we're doing this. Now, maybe a lot of people feel, well, why buy a rough out and then not do what, you know, is the character themselves? Well, I know a lot of people have written me and told me and showed me, they said, well, I bought, you know, a lot of people that are retired, I bought their stuff, and there's a bunch of rough outs in there, and I don't even know who they belong to or what they're supposed to look like or whatever it is. So a lot of people obtain rough outs from people's collections, from those type of things, and maybe they want to carve the character, maybe they don't. Well, this particular character is Odie. Now, I think most carvers are familiar with the character Odie, and it's the hillbilly with no eyes and the hat and everything like that, in other words, and the coveralls and all that. And say that you receive this rough out and that you've done Odie several times or many times, or you don't particularly know what this is all about. So you ask yourself, well, how in the world can I, you know, how can I create something maybe a little bit different by using this rough out? And that's what we're going to continue with today, as we did with the bear. Now, we turned it from just a bear with his hands in his pockets to a bear with his fishing pole, and that's what we're going to do with Odie. We're going to make him something. Now, we're outside. I don't actually know what that noise is. I apologize. And we're in my garage, and it is a very rainy day in Texas. So, and cold, because you can see I am wearing my coat. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little bit different with Odie. We're going to make Odie a different character. Okay? We're going to turn him into an entirely different character. And let me get out my knife here. Now, as you can see, he's got the hat and everything. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this hat. Now, like I said, a lot of people go, well, why, you know, why are you doing this? Well, I'm doing it to show you. And does it take a little time? Yes, it takes a little time to remove wood. But it's no problem, because what we're going to do with Odie is we're going to turn him from a hillbilly to actually a little bit more sophisticated type guy. Not a whole lot sophisticated, but a little bit more. But we got to get the hat off of him, or we got to get the top of the hat off of him. Everyone, January is almost over. So, well, what is it, almost over? Today is February 1st. So, things are really quite unusual now. You like sitting here listening to the rain. Cars going by. I wish I was in the outdoors where we could just, on a porch somewhere, with the rain coming down, but we're not. All right, we're getting kind of rid of this right here. Now what we want to do, and let me get my pencil, as my dad used to say, my pencil. And what we want to do is, of course, Odie has this hat here. We want to get rid of that hat, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to come back here and we're going to come around the edges of Odie and we're going to take that brim of that hat off because we're going to make him a little bit different person here. And once we get through kind of getting rid of the stuff for the head, then we can begin on the body and work from there. We just want to get this waist away. Okay. All right. So basically, as you can see, we have taken we've taken the hat completely off, and now let's go down to the arms. Now, one arm, we're going to go ahead and leave that arm in the pocket here. So let's go ahead and draw that out right there. And we're going to go ahead and leave that into the pocket. So we're just going to kind of get that taken away there. Just to kind of, and we're going to cut into here. We're going to turn Dan from a hillbilly to a dapper, kind of a lover's man, ladies' man, as we say. Yeah, that little piece came off right there. I don't know where that came from. And come across here. All right. Well, there's the hand in the pocket for right now. In other words, of course, we're going to come back and do some more things on it, but that's just to start with. But with this hand, we actually want to do something different. We want to make a hand, okay? So what we do is we just come up here and we come across here and we come here and over on this area and we're going to make a hand, okay? So let's do the same thing here. Let's come across here, but further down, and let's make, we're not going to make this one straight down like we did with the bear. We're just going to make us a hand right in here to be holding something, okay? This is just a lesson in how that you can take patterns and create what you want to with it. You know, the figures that I do, most all the figures that you see that I put on Facebook are done from one pattern. They're done from a very similar pattern, and they're all created out of that one pattern. And that's what I want to show you more than anything, is that you can create even from this type of pattern. I remember I took a cowboy pattern. I don't even know if they still have that rough out. Someone gave me a cowboy rough out, and before I knew it, he was a duck hunter. And I gave it to a duck hunting friend of mine. He loved it. I took his arms and brought it down. I put a shotgun in his hand, and we okay. Now let's go ahead and if you notice, Odie has a beard right here, okay? He has a beard and the nose is around here. Well, that's all going to be eliminated. We're going to go ahead, but where the beard is at, we're going to go ahead and cut away where we can use that as a portion of our face. If we want to continue to put a beard on him, we can, but we don't have to do that. But we do have to separate this area right here from that area. See this? And we want to do that very deep. In other words, we want to take a lot off of there so that we can have plenty of room for our face and what we want to do with it. Okay, as you can see, the arm goes all up in here, but actually the arm will kind of come in this area here. We can go ahead and make a cut in this where the arm is going to be, to give it that look that we want. But see, as we cut up underneath here, all of a sudden we're getting a room for whatever we want to do with the head and the face, in other words. Let's go ahead and come down here and cut. Now, as you can see, the shoes are probably going to have to be cut down just a little bit, in other words, to make this work. And which is not a problem in that sense. But we want to cut enough away from this area where the hand is so that we have enough space to put something in that hand, in other words. Just like in the other one. Okay, we're doing pretty darn good. We don't need a lot of room, but we need some. We need enough depth to that hand where we will All right. Now do you see what we're doing here, what we're dealing with here? We haven't changed the body structure a whole lot, but we've changed it enough. Where Odie is no longer going to be Odie, but someone else. Okay. As we look at this, then we want to kind of come up here and we want to come forward with this and get this sort of even with the top up here. See what we're doing? Okay. All right. And we want to just come up here and take a little bit off here wherein the arm will be in this area, at which case we're going to make our arm in there. Okay? All right. Our arm here. Now let's bring this arm down a little bit too. It's too high. We're trying to look at both arms at about the same height. And this arm's a little bit lower than this arm, so we're going to make this arm a little bit lower too. We can do that. It's not a problem. Now look at the back of them. Pretty close right now. We'll worry about that later. So you can see that we do remove quite a bit of wood away from those areas. And we continue to take wood off here. And use our push cut in here. Okay, and of course remove some more in here to bring out that arm a little bit more before we begin working or figure out what we're going to do on the clothes and all that. Come back here. We're just getting some depth into our pieces. That's all we're doing. Okay, let me cut this arm down just a little bit. It's a little bit too big. Okay. All right. And the same thing here. You want to cut back on that arm a little bit. Okay. Let's come back here and cut a little bit deeper on our arms back here, taking our knife and slicing it in the back here to make it deeper. Okay, now if we look at him now, then basically we've roughed out what we want. We have the hand here, we have the arm or hands in the pocket here. We're getting more and more room for our head, what we want it to be. Now we've got to start figuring out something of what he is going to be, what he is going to wear, and all that stuff, in other words. Okay. What I want to do, let's go ahead and get in between these legs here, because he is going to have pants. So I'm going in between those legs and giving him a little, this is the toughest part, because it's tough to get that leg, that knife in there sometimes in that area. But we are going to, what you have to do is you just have to work it. You have to work that knife and cut and lift off and take little pieces out. And so it's pretty much where we've got it here. All right, let's sort of remove some of this rough out look to it. Okay, and as you see, we in the back we have this and that and whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little coat. First of all, let me remove this just a little bit. Clean this up just a little bit in here. We're going to make a coat on both sides, but it's going to be a short coat. Okay, it's only going to come to about right here, and then it's going to go over in the back of these pants. We're going to come across, like right here. We're going to come across, and it's going to end up with the hand being